What's up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Jeremy, and movies are terrible. Side tangent real quick while I'm thinking about it. A list was just now released of the top phrases that YouTubers say in introductions, and I'm gonna pass it over to my special guest, Holden Hardman, to let you guys know what the most common YouTube phrase for starting a video is. Holden, hit me.
What's going on, guys? Or something to that effect.
What's up, guys?
I try to avoid that whenever I do I say, hello there, everyone. My name is Holden Hardman, I think is what I normally say.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm good. Glad to be here. Glad to do another tier list that will rip my soul out. If you didn't get a chance to see, Jeremy and I did another one on the director tier list, and we're doing it with some different rules, which makes it very difficult for me.
We're using a digital wheel to select 10 of about 26 different popular franchises that I came up with ahead of time. We have to use every one of the spots. We've got 10 movies, we've got to put 2 in each of them. Holden, are you ready?
I'm good to get into it and see what franchises we pull out. Men in Black. Okay.
Pick number 2. All right, come on. What do we got?
Pirates.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay. This actually might not be as bad because I feel like there's a range with the franchise, whereas directors, like when you have just all greats, because there's some fluctuations in these that I'm seeing already that maybe won't be as bad.
I'm on the same page as you so far. Let's see that we don't get some Spider-Man trilogy and some Jurassic Park in here. What do we got next? What do we got next?
Middle Earth.
One of my favorites. All right, here we go. Next pick.
Oh. Alien. Wow. Okay.
All right, and I didn't put any of the big slasher franchises because I find that very difficult to compare those two things.
Okay.
Ooh.
Indie, okay.
Stay away from the Star Wars. Stay away from the Spider-Man trilogy.
Toy Story, okay.
It's a good one. Pick number 8.
Okay, 3 more.
Okay. How are you on that one, man? Have you seen a bunch of them?
I've seen, I think, 3 and on. I don't think I've ever seen the original first 2.
Good enough for me. Up.
Harry Potter, okay.
All right, I'm leaving this one in your court because I've only seen about half of them.
Really? Okay. Hunger Games, okay.
All right, one more. And final pick, here we go. Stay away from Star Wars, stay away from Star Wars. I'm only saying that because I don't want to have to disrespect anyone.
Oh, Twilight, okay.
We really did hit all the YA ones there at the end. Okay. I like to start at either the top or the bottom, Holden. Are there any of these that are jumping out as either your clear favorite or your clear least favorite?
Out of this list, I'd probably say Harry Potter for me right now.
I
look at something like, okay, and we can alter it as we go. I'm thinking Lord of the Rings could also be up there, but including The Hobbit wasn't, in my opinion, as great as the original trilogy.
Let me ask you a question. How do you feel about the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise?
I enjoy it. I think it's very, very good, especially the first one.
Okay.
I think the original trilogy was good. They did 4 and 5, which were very forgettable. I saw them both, and I don't remember much about them. That's the problem with some of these, because even something like Indiana Jones, I think of like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is still involved in that franchise, you know?
Yeah.
So it's, even though you have like the greats, there's still those things that pull it down. You know what? Toy Story, honestly, really thinking about it, all of them, even 4, were all great. And
Every
that
one
could
of
be up
them.
there, too.
Yeah, every one is exceptional. I made an executive decision. I'm putting Twilight at the bottom. I mean, I don't know how else to parse
okay.
it. If one's got to go in the bottom.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that right now.
Okay. Toy Story is really good. Let's set
Yeah.
it up top for now. But I think you're
That's
right
what
about
works.
the Wizarding world because there are, 12 movies or something like that, and they're consistently good.
Yeah, I think there's 8 original Harry Potter films because they split book 7 into 2 parts. All of them are great. Those are the type of franchise, the type of movies where even if they're not as good as predecessors, it becomes like nitpicky stuff.
Yeah.
It's still like incredibly exceptional. The Fantastic Beasts movies weren't all that great, and I think they're still working on a couple, but I'd be comfortable having Harry Potter in this list up at S.
Okay.
I'd put, just kind of tentatively right now, I'd probably put Pirates either at B or C.
Looking at this list, I think C is, I don't think I would actually fight for much higher or lower than C because for me right now, I feel like you established the S tier. I don't think there's much debating that. Is Indiana Jones a wonderful franchise? Hell yeah. Is half of it good and the other half bad? Yeah, and that's kind of the same thing about Middle Earth, right?
Yeah. But then again, like the first half of Middle Earth was so good.
So good.
I put Lord of the Rings right now, Middle Earth at A.
Okay, I'm with
Would
you,
have put
bro.
it at S were it not for Hobbit.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Let's just work through Alien.
Alien is my favorite. Like, I love Alien and Aliens. The franchise overall, it ain't great.
I agree with you. So I'd probably put Alien right now around B tier. Is kind of where I'm feeling.
Okay.
Again, Alien and Aliens, top tier. The whole franchise as a whole, B.
Okay, what do you think? What did you think about Prometheus?
I remember enjoying it. I remember thinking it was good. One of the ways I can kind of gauge how the quality of a movie for me is how memorable I find it later.
Sure.
Kind of like what I said about the Pirates 4 and 5. I remember enjoying them at the time, but then ultimately forgettable. But I remember like 1, 2, and 3 very clearly, and I remember Alien and Aliens very clearly.
Yeah. Is the Hunger Games net positive or net negative? Like, did it end up being a more good than bad or more bad than good?
Hunger Games, it's pretty neutral to me.
Yeah.
I guess.
Indifference, does that count?
Yeah, I think it's better than like Divergent.
Sure.
But I don't think that it's like I'd be comfortable putting that in D tier in this list.
Okay, question then, because I don't disagree there. Is it better or worse than Men in Black? As a franchise.
It's worse than Men in Black.
It's worse than Men in Black.
Well, then again, I'm thinking it might be 3 and the one with Chris Hemsworth, and I did see that one with Chris Hemsworth and Valkyrie. And that one was not very good at all. But then again, Men in Black 1, I love Men in Black 1. And then Men in Black 2, I still really liked. 3, it was pretty forgettable. I just remember they had kind of like weird vehicles they were riding around at one point. That's all I really remember. Josh Brolin was in it too, I think.
Yeah, I like Josh Brolin playing a young Tommy Lee Jones. I'm not wild about the Men in Black franchise. I do consider them to be about on par with your Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, I would say net positive for Men in Black. 2 exceptional, 2 not that great. 1 very, very bad. I really hated the Chris Hemsworth one.
Yeah.
Just like Pirates, I would say at least 2 very exceptional Pirates, and maybe 3 average to below average. So yeah,
you like the first one, and you like Dead Man's Chest. The first 2.
I remember liking At World's End better than Dead Man's Chest.
Okay.
But the whole end scene in At World's End where they're fighting like in that maelstrom, I remember thinking that was so epic and it looked great.
Yeah.
And stabbing Davy Jones hard. I thought it was all wonderful.
So far, looking at this, I'm feeling pretty good about where everything's at. I don't know, you mentioned to me that you've seen a couple of the Mission Impossible movies. I feel like Mission Impossible is one of those franchises. Furious is another one, Furious is nowhere near as good, but Mission Impossible is one of those franchises where each entry gets a little bit better than the last one. Brian De Palma directed the original. I am very, very keen on the Mission Impossible franchise, but do I like it more than the Indiana Jones franchise? It's just hard to say, Holden. It's hard to say I love anything a lot more than Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I missed kind of the Mission Impossible hype train as it was coming on. I kind of got into the franchise a little later. I remember seeing Fallout and I forget the other one. I forget the other one in IMAX, and I remember thinking they were really high quality movies. I thought that they were great, but I just kind of chalked them down to just kind of really good action flicks.
I get it.
Around the same type of quality and feeling I got when I watched Kingsman, and they're kind of that same sort of spy-ish type of movies. For me, I would put Indy at A and Mission Impossible at B.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think I'm with you because despite the shortcomings of the Indiana Jones franchise, that character is incredibly iconic. And if we're just looking at it in terms of memorability, is that a word? As you just
sure.
know. Yeah, okay, thank you. I'll give you that. Thank you. That this is one that is incredibly memorable. I think that Spielberg and George Lucas together are, they are definitely a dynamic duo, and Harrison Ford as that character is just, I can't think of too many more iconic. So, looking over the tier list, I don't see a lot of mobility in here. I don't see a lot of things that I object to or that I would turn around. I mean, as you look over it, final thoughts, is there anything that you're just like, I don't know, maybe I could switch this and this?
I am having a hard time looking at Toy Story being above Lord of the Rings, like the more I stare at it.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of Toy Story is quality across the board on all four. But The Hobbit, is The Hobbit, see now I'm second guessing, is The Hobbit enough to drag the entire thing down below Toy Story? I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I would way rather watch Lord of the Rings than almost anything on this list. I love those movies. They are some of my favorites. If we did move it, then we would have essentially your high fantasy stuff in the S tier, which might just speak to my and your preference.
I would actually be okay. I might even make the case. I think we should move Lord of the Rings to S and Toy Story down to A. While it's half and half as far as movie-wise, I think the first half of Lord of the Rings is so strong, it doesn't allow The Hobbit to pull it down any lower.
You're not twisting my arm there. I agree. I think, one of the highest awarded films in history, if not still the most awarded film in history. I think it was like 12 nominations.
11, I think. 11 or 12. 11 wins or 12.
Wow.
Yeah, something like that. That's high.
Yeah, it's impressive. And it really was unlike anything else that we'd seen up to that point. So I like this list a little better. We tweaked it at the end there. Again, though, you guys more than welcome to let us know what your thoughts are. If you have any suggestions for tier lists that you would like to see explored in the future in videos, let me know. I am really enjoy doing these. I think it's a nice little variant on the traditional format. And Holden, it's always fun doing videos with you, man, so thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for having me on. It's a lot of fun. This wasn't nearly as bad as the director one. I think the variation helped a lot, so.
Yeah, it felt like smooth sailing compared to that last one. The last one, we wanted to pull our hair out. So, down in the description, I will post a link to that tier list. If you do go over and you check it out and you haven't seen it previously, let us know what your thoughts on that list are as well. Check out Movies Are Terrible on Patreon. There's a couple different tiers. Decide which one is right for you. And then when the time comes and you can consider supporting an independent content creator, maybe you consider becoming a patron at any tier. Any of you guys are able to submit topics for the podcast. The live stream every Thursday at 6 p.m. CST right here on YouTube. Thank you very much for stopping by. I'm Jeremy, and on behalf of both me and Holden, be terrible.